Okay. Should be streaming now. Let me know whenever it pops up so we know for sure. Okay. Yeah, it's loading. That means that it's popped up.
I need somebody to help me break into calendars.
Are we still adding?
Yeah, I'm still going to the ad.
That's fine. That's fine. I just want to make sure sound is working.
Well, I can't hear sound because I don't have any headphones.
Is there any way to like pump out?
Oh, can I borrow these? Are these yours?
Just borrow them for half a second.
Oh, they're plugged in. Great.
Great, even better.
Oh,
Is
sound is
anything
working.
sound is working? Okay, everyone. So I guess today we're going to be going through mostly the game pitches and stuff, but there are a couple of other things that I wanted to mention beforehand. One thing, just to show off for anybody who hasn't already done it, we've got Slack up and going,
So good.
and it's freaking awesome.
And that makes me beware the gifts.
Beware the GIFs. So this is what random looks like right now, and this is pretty indicative of the state of random as a whole. I can continue scrolling, and it doesn't stop. So, yeah. So this is Slack. You're all welcome. Yeah.
To be honest, if you go on Giphy.com, there's some amazing gifs. It's a
Right.
pretty rad website.
Right, and I'm enjoying the total randomness of invoking just a word and seeing what pops up. But yeah, so Slack is awesome, and it's working out really well for us so far. We have, 0-8 boards. We have a board for the game pitches. We have Sorting Master, Random. We have like a tech support sort of board set up, and then just general chatting boards.
And we have Trello integration.
And Trello integration. I think somebody just did something in the Trello. Yeah, Coffee Cutie added to list pitches. So, yeah, there you go. So we have Trello integration. We had a recent one with a 0-8, right? That was visual? Yeah. So there's a post when we were discussing things in the 0-8 thing, and it pops up on Slack. So nice and easy to see everything. It's great. So, yeah, if you haven't already signed up, make sure you do, because this is so good. Make sure that you give me your email, I think, is the issue. So if you haven't already signed up for Slack, let me know, or have you already been signed? I'm not even sure how to use the verb there.
Should they message you on Facebook?
Yeah, just message me on Facebook. Leave it on the Facebook group. Whatever.
Email and then send you the piece of skin.
Yes. You can tattoo your email onto your arm and then rip off the piece of skin and hand it to me. That's acceptable.
That sounds like a good plan.
Clean it off first. But, yeah. Okay. But yeah, so this is incredible and it's all kinds of useful. So do that. It is a good idea. Okay. Let me look at my minute notes that I took. Oh, also, I guess continuing along that line of thinking, I'm going to be recording a demo and for the 0-8 stuff in the near future, just to show a little concise thing, kind of like Quinn did for the Vertex Chameleon. But the point being here, we have a YouTube channel, and so if anybody ever has any need or desire to show something off to other people that needs to be public, record it in whatever way you deem necessary, and we have a place for that to be posted. So
I would love it if people could do that more often, because
tutorials and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
it would just be rad.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people here with skills that other people don't have.
Right.
And I don't know, I think it's a lot easier than trying to find tutorials on the internet that aren't geared specifically.
Agreed. And it only takes a little bit to generally record something, because for the most part, we're doing things that are intentionally very quick and simple and easy to work with. So, yeah, if you have anything that anybody else is not understanding or doesn't have any way to know or whatever, like, I don't know, style guides or like Unity integration with something or whatever. Like we have the YouTube channel now, so we can all kind of post to that. I have the access code for it. I could make it public.
No.
I mean, I guess I could. Yeah, I don't know. So
Maybe they should drop it in your Dropbox.
and then we could do something like that as well, or we could have like maybe the head of whatever teams for each project could have the access codes. that sort of thing. You know, we can figure that out as to who has what. But point being, we have a space for it, and I'd like to make sure that gets used. Spread the education around, enlighten us with your amazingness and whatever it is you do.
Then we can also have a discussion in that regard on the How Do channel.
Right. So anything that gets brought up on the How Do channel can end up on here basically, or whatever. Like whatever. It's there. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of it, just because it's useful to have. And also, if you keep an eye on it, maybe if you follow it or whatever, you can keep an eye on what's getting posted. Maybe if it's not relevant to your group discussion, because once I do the 08 one, I don't imagine I'm going to be posting it anywhere but the 08 Trello /Slack/ whatever. So if you're not in that group, you may not necessarily get it, but if you keep an eye on the YouTube, you'll see it that way. But yeah. So just be aware of that. It exists and it's useful. So why not? Yes.
Maybe an update about what 08 is at now. You guys have been quite talkative about 08.
We have, but I do want to leave those fairly in the past as much as possible. We can discuss briefly. I mean, we have been working on those two projects continuing. I think 08 and Sorting Master both have some work getting done. I know Sorting Master, you guys are focused on getting the UI and everything kind of coherent and nice looking and all that sort of stuff. 08, we're looking at kind of doing the UI, getting that kind of in place and working and functional, and adding in a couple other things. I've got a ship in there that I just added recently.
Who's doing UI for Sorting Master?
Ness has just been kind of doing the coding stuff, getting it all implemented. Oh, Sorting Master. Sorry. Sorting Master. Jessica was question mark working on stuff for that.
Sorry, I missed what you said.
Sorting Master UI. Were you the one working on that?
I'm gonna try to do
It's totally fine. I was just like that was.
That's basically like my goal for the next week.
Okay.
Is to try to do something to improve.
Sure.
It looks
So, yeah.
nice. Yeah, for what
Yeah. So, but yeah, those two projects are continuing a little bit in the background. Obviously, they're not their focus anymore. We're moving on now. But, the work will continue to be done as people get chips and stuff for just different fruits and foods and things like that they want to model or whatever in their off time. They will be there, all as well. So, yeah.
Oh, can I say something really quick?
Sure. What do you got?
I'm having a brunch this Sunday, and everyone needs to come.
When?
And all 50 people that are here. Okay? Or not.
We usually get about 15 or 10 or so in the meeting, so I don't know about 50.
So should we make? Is it a potluck brunch or is it potluck brunch? So
Okay.
She's cooking stuff, but everybody else brings stuff, and it's good.
Okay,
So
let's everybody bring 50
Okay.
servings.
No.
yes, everyone go to this brunch and bring 50 servings of
You don't-
anything you
You
want.
don't have to worry.
50 servings.
Shut up, David.
But not of anything you want. It all has to be pancakes.
Oh, okay. 50 servings of pancakes. Every single person here has to bring 50 servings of pancakes.
Okay, so far, I'm thinking I'm gonna have maybe like breakfast empanadas and pancakes.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna have enough servings for everyone, but I don't know if that will be enough to really like make everyone full. So
Yeah.
if you want to
Bring some stuff.
bring a dish, you can, but you don't have to bring a dish. Also, I was really hoping to have mimosas, but I'm probably going to end up getting like one thing of orange juice and one cheap bottle of champagne. So if you want to bring some of that, orange juice or really cheap shitty champagne, then you can do that. The end. But this is the most important announcement of the day.
The most important announcement of the day. Mimosas at Jessica's on
If
Sunday.
you don't come, I'm never speaking to you again. If I see you at the meeting and you didn't come to my brunch, except for Rodrigo, because he has something to do. But I already spoke with him and he has a legitimate excuse, and no other excuse will be legitimate. There's no excuse for not coming.
So it's at 10 Sunday?
I have to check the time.
I'm not sure. I would bring it up, but then I'd have to troll for my own Facebook page on the internet, and I don't want to do that.
People always wake up late, and
I have a class.
Yeah. I was thinking it was like 10:30.
Is it?
I was thinking.
Okay. Whatever the time is now, I'm changing it to 11 a.m.
Okay.
Get there at 11 a.m.
Okay.
If you get there late, that'll be okay too.
No, if you get there late, we'll kill you.
Get there before.
Well, you've been to lots of food things at my house before. You know, like I just get grumpy.
Yes.
That's
yes.
a joke. I'm not.
That's not a joke. She actually gets grumpy. So show up at 11, everyone. If you show up a couple minutes late, she'll just stare at you in a little bit, and it'll be okay. Scowls will happen.
And maybe get day drunk. And
Day drunk.
And it would be cool.
I like that word, day drunk. That's a good word.
That should be the name of another game meeting.
Oh, day drunk. There we go. Someone put that on the pitches board. Okay.
Note.
That sounds quappy.
It does sound quappy. It does sound quappy. Maybe we can have a level in Leggy Larry that's called Day Drunk. So on top of being completely disorientated in the normal controls, you're also drunk, and your character's swaying back and forth the whole time.
Yeah, it sounds
Oh God.
I'm envisioning something that's kind of like Surgeon Simulator before an office, where you're trying to do office things, but everything is wrong.
Like so papers please, but drunk.
Yes.
Oh.
That should be a mini game with the
All right.
game. Like you have to like get to the doctor, and the doctor says come back at 3, and then you have to go to work, and then you're trying to do your job drunk.
Oh my
Okay, the
God.
game wouldn't make any sense, but
That's fine. Octodad.
let's just make a new game where you're
Just
You have
say.
to make 50 perfect
drunk and
facts
trying to get through the
messages.
day. I like that game. Sounds pretty good.
50 perfect faxes, yet you're drunk. Okay. Jesus. Yeah, it's okay. I've got... Basically, the other 2 points of order in the meeting are to start talking about the pitches and stuff, as well as I have a couple of notes that I want to bring up on the team construction there, but also the legal document is, we have a finalized version. So that exists now, and I can bring it up if you guys want to do so.
Maybe
We
you
all
can
have to sign
send
it,
it to
right?
us.
Huh?
Maybe you can send it to us.
I can send it individually. We can discuss it now. I can kind of do whatever everyone wants to do on that one. Yeah. If we discuss it now, it will be on the Twitch and it will be public. And he's okay with it. I'm okay with it. Whatever. But it's kind of like a. What does everybody want to do with that?
Can we talk about it after game pitches?
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. So we want to do the game pitches first.
Because I get the feeling if we start talking about the legal stuff, it might run.
Stick around for a while. Yeah, that's probably true. Okay, that's probably better. So we can pitch for an hour or so, talk about the legal stuff for another 30 minutes, and then leave. That way we have some hard deadlines to stick to. Sound good? No? Get the hell out of here. Okay, so that's our game plan, I guess? Okay. So what I wanted to talk about for the groups and stuff in the future, just to, because as we decided, was it last meeting? Was that the post-mortem for everything? Yeah. We need a more organization, and we just kind of generally need to figure things out a little better and quicker and faster and that sort of stuff. So I was thinking to that end, we would split off kind of the dev group or whatever to have basically 3 main people that are kind of in charge of things, like an art director, a game designer, and then just whoever's in charge. And then whoever is in charge could potentially be taking over one of those other tasks as well. But basically to get a couple people in charge of every game so that A, we have an art director, so that we know from the beginning what the game's going to look like. And I mean finalize what it's going to look like, not just like the saw bottle that I put together on Zero Eight. Because we didn't really have that on either game so much. I knew what I wanted to look like, and Trevor knew what he wanted to look like, but we didn't really have a concrete art direction sort of thing for everybody to work off of.
Are you thinking the creator of the game might be able to take up one of those positions?
Yeah, I don't see why not so much,
Okay, just wondering.
But I just want it to be a little bit more formalized in that there will be an art directing task, and we will have, say...
Someone needs to be in charge.
Yeah, someone needs to be in charge of it, and someone needs to be in there, doing concept art and doing things to make sure that things stay coherent visually.
What if the game, the guy who pitched the game, just ask everyone to also pitch in terms of art and just bring new art materials and just pick and say, okay, that's the kind of
That's fine.
style I want. I want to work with you.
That's fine.
And you are going to be the director on this, rather than bringing something right away. Maybe it can be.
I mean, however you want to
maybe
approach it
discussed.
within each project, honestly, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just kind of suggesting the idea that we
Yeah.
have a dedicated art director. I don't necessarily care how we get to that point.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's always going to be probably a week space between meetings where you're determining the team and
Right.
what everyone's doing.
Okay, yeah.
and things kind of fell into place like naturally over time with both of these first two projects as well, and I think that's okay. Like as people like kind of get a groove into it, we realize who's going to actually be contributing a lot, who's going to be contributing very little, who's going to, that sort of stuff. Maybe some people signed up and their task was turned out to be something that changes in the middle of things, and like they can't do it anymore, and somebody has to take over, that sort of, stuff like that. And that's totally fine. I don't need a rigid structure. Just somebody in charge of the art, somebody in charge of the game design. That's kind of my big two pillars there. And then like the person who makes the game could be either of those two, like whoever's idea it is, could be either of those two things or neither of those two things, depending on whatever that person prefers. Yeah, that's kind of my thinking. So, does that make sense?
That's a really good idea. Then that person can be in charge of contacting other people, telling them that they need to do stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it takes a little bit of the weight off the shoulders of whoever's in charge of each aspect of the project. And I want to clarify that the person who makes the game, whoever's in charge, pick one. You're either being in charge of game design directly, or you're being in charge of art directly. Like, you can obviously you will be in charge of both. You're the game director. You're the guy like overseeing everything. But pick one task and kind of let the rest fall to other people. Trust them to get the job done correctly and that sort of stuff. Get the people that you trust. Make sure that whoever you're working with is good. But let somebody else kind of work. Because dear God, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of stuff. And on that note, or along the same lines, the game director, I want to have one. I know at least a few of us know what we're talking about in terms of game design, at least to an extent, one way or the other. So
We played a lot of games. That's the thing.
I mean, we've played a lot of games. Some of us have done some legitimate research on like articles on game design and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in that sort of thing, I have a crap ton. I think I posted that. I think I posted one of my game design Pinterest thing.
Yeah, you did.
When
At
and
some point or
where
other.
Are we going to make a resources list with links?
Oh, we should do a resources list with links.
Sounds great.
Can
We're
we?
thinking main Trello board.
Yeah, I would think the main Trello board. We have
Okay.
because like we have
Maybe you should.
game pitches or whatever. We can just put one on the side. Like we have pitches right here. Just put one next to it. That's
Why
references
don't you
for
just
general.
make an entirely new board for
Sure.
us so we can have a bunch of different lists? And
Sure.
it'll be easier to catch.
Just like a whole reference board. That's probably true. But I have, how many's on here? Does it say? Oh yeah, there we go. 92 pins. 92 pins. These are all articles in some form or other, with a couple of exceptions that are like images of breakdown of levels. So, and even some of those images link to other images that are just a lot of images from that one game or that sort of thing. So I have 92 articles here about game design in one form or fashion. There pretty much covers every possible subject you can ask for. And then there's like gamasutra.com, which I have at the top there on my my bookmarks, which goes through and discusses stuff pretty regularly. And a lot of it is just general, like, kind of a little bit of everything, just like a normal news site. But then you get, I don't see one on the front here. But every now and then you get stuff like this, where they go in and they break down a single mechanic. And they go in and they talk about every part of the process of that single mechanic. So like this is talking about the tutorial sequence on Rogue Legacy. And these are run by the people who actually made these games. They volunteer to write an article and they break down like all of the processes of whatever it is that they went through. One of the first ones, actually I think the first one, was the ammo collection in Wolfenstein, the most recent one. I forget the name of it.
I think it's just Wolfenstein, actually.
Huh? New Order. Yeah,
New
Wolfenstein
Order.
New Order. That's what it is. So they went through and broke down the ammo collection in that game, and they discussed that it's something that I think it's that you have to not pick it up, like you walk over to it and it automatically picks up, or that you do have to pick it up. I forget one of the two.
I think they had one and then they switched to the other.
Yeah, they had one and switched to the other.
It wasn't intuitive, or like people just
Right.
like were missing ammo or something.
But they discussed exactly why they switched from one to the other. They discussed what was involved in switching from one to the other. They discuss, all the kind of mentality and all the different processes that were involved in figuring out that they needed to switch from the one to the other side, and then how to do it, where to do it, why to do it, and that sort of thing. And they just go through and they discuss all of the psychology behind all of that. So there's a lot of articles like this on Gamasutra. So I've saved all the ones that I've run into, and I go through and collect more and more often. I can start dumping them over to a Trello board if we want to start one of those. That'd be cool.
Yeah, another good one is like the Super Metroid one, where it's analyzing the whole beginning part of it and stuff. So.
God, the entire I played through that like a month ago, and that whole game is just an essay in game design perfection. Like everything, every pixel is in the perfect spot. Everything is just ridiculous.
Gunpei Yokoi. Gunpei was still working on that. Is a game designer genius.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's But yeah, so if you want to do the game design job as whatever, that's fine. I mean, we'll give anybody a shot. I think obviously people who are better qualified will get the job because whoever's in charge of the project will be like, yeah, you seem to know what you're talking about. Come over here. And yeah.
I think also in terms of game design, it's a matter of a lot of discussion. I don't know if we can right now decide that someone will be in charge of just the game design.
It'll be somebody to kind of organize it, I think, more than anything else. Because obviously, we're discussing on the 0-8 thing, the game design and who's in charge of and that sort of thing. And I was I was tossing it over to Taylor because he's asked to do that. But at the same time, Ness has been basically doing that this whole time, and there's nothing he's been doing a good job.
Yeah.
So there's nothing stopping the programmer, the game designer, and the game lead, whatever, from working in whatever way they see best fit. But I just want to have somebody there to kind of organize all the thoughts, to keep the data stream kind of coherent and all that sort of thing.
Cool.
Yeah,
To
really
balance stuff.
We started writing this stuff down and planning it on paper.
That's kind of where I'm going with
as
this.
as we are or before we start programming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to kind of at least get an idea, okay, we want this weapon to do this, or blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, get it all written down and have somebody in charge of writing it down, and that sort of thing. Balance the numbers, get the books all kept in place, and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I definitely want to have that, and definitely want to have an art director on each project. I said, whoever's in charge of the project is more than welcome to do one of those two tasks, but, even if they're not, say somebody is not comfortable with necessarily directing all of one of those two things. They don't know enough about whatever subject. It's fine. Just have that there.
And I don't know if there should be a rule or something. It seems like it should be a good idea for those people to find a way to meet before the next meeting. Come up with production schedules.
Sure. That's another thing. Production schedules. We need to have them. I think everybody unanimously expressed the desire to have a weekly checklist of what needs to get done. So whoever's in charge of whatever games we're making this time around, it's your job. Come up with a production schedule of what needs to get done and where. Obviously, we have Slack. We are more than welcome, I think, all of us to discuss exactly when and where, and whether it's practical to have a full runnable, playable demo by next week versus one mechanic sort of in place for next week. So it's we can discuss how those goals happen, but we need them. God. Any other thoughts and stuff about that whole subject?
It'd be cool if maybe we could even have designated times to meet on Slack and discuss things, or just times when the people in charge will be available for discussion.
Yeah, it seems like we really needed some kind of meeting for everybody outside of the meeting. So if we, each team could decide on a time to have an e-meeting, that would be super helpful.
I kind of agree, and then also I would strongly suggest having a weekend meeting or whatever to get together and just play games every now and then, particularly for the people who are making the games. I think Alex suggested it in the first week when we tried it out in the for 0-8 and everything. But like to have just one meeting at least to play games that are similar to the games, whatever it is that we're making. So like we got together and played Forsaken, and we played for like an hour maybe before we just like. But we got a lot of great information from it, and that's all that really matters.
If I may add something that maybe is completely irrelevant, but
Sure.
if also we find some games that we find interesting to bring to the Game Collective to analyze and break down, because we were talking about, game stuff and everything. If we want to present a game that is niche or whatever, that could be really cool to share all that. I mean, we would use some time, but
that could be really cool. I will say this though: meetings tend to run to the maximum amount of time that we can manage. So I would love to have a place for discussing like game mechanics and like posting games and like really breaking them down and kind of dissecting what works, what doesn't work, and how and where and why and stuff like that within our group. I think that'd be fantastic for us to have.
Unfortunately,
may or may not be something we can actually do in public on the meetings because of time. Yeah, but we totally have Slack and other things. We have Trello, we have Slack, we have places to communicate, so we can do that kind of on other times as well. So we can manage something, but I think that'd be a good idea. Any other thoughts?
I think every month we should, or every week. Never mind.
Please continue.
I was going to make the very important contribution that we should have regular game tournaments, and people should pick a game, and the person who wins the tournament gets to wear a special hat for the person.
I second the motion.
Wait, what? All in favor?
Aye.
Oh my
We
god.
can do it. We can find a way.
But seriously, like we totally should get together and talk about games and play
But there
games
has to
and
be
break
a
down
winner's
games.
hat. Like a king
I'm
hat.
down. I am totally down to have a goofy winner's hat. Please, God, give me a crown, someone.
Yeah, like a golden crown.
That's the thing, we need it to be very adjustable size for Nathan.
We could just have a really
we can
tiny
make
one
it
that
a
just
belt.
sits on someone's
We
head.
can make a crown out of felt with gold glitter, and then we can have different Velcro spots on it, and you can Velcro it on your head.
We would have to have the biggest Velcro ever for it to fit on my head, just as a fair warning.
Like a big head.
I have the most ridiculously large head. I can't wear hats.
Yeah, we should do the passenger size and just have string.
I'm down. I'm down with the tiny, ridiculously small hat and then strings on the side, or even just ridiculously small hat and have to balance.
I think
You just have to kind of.
And that's part of the winner.
Right. Your job as a winner is to carry around this tiny hat on your head for the rest of the week.
I mean, that's good. And I mean,
It's a game.
you can't enforce people wearing it 24/7. Like
We'll put an accelerometer on it. If it's not attached to their head, they lose, and they can't come back to the meetings ever again.
You definitely have to wear it to the next meeting, though. At least.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, all that sort of stuff can be
Talk
kind
about
of
games.
I
arranged.
think that was the most important announcement.
Definitely,
No, brunch
definitely.
was.
Tiny,
That was
tiny
number
hats. Okay, brunch and tiny hats. Those are the two most important things.
We should pitch games now.
But yeah, okay. So do we want to just start discussing pitch days or pitching things? So I guess first order of business. Yes, everyone agree? Okay. So now that that's settled, we have one other slot for what we're making. So
I really like Coffee Cutie. I don't know if you
Yes.
can down.
what is it? Somebody want to discuss Coffee Cutie?
That's Quinn.
Yeah.
Step up to the microphone. Come over here.
Okay, cool. Is that the only new one? Or is why are we doing that one first?
Oh, wait, it just got brought up first, so let's just start with that one because we don't have really a spot to start. So what the hell?
Cool. Your mouse is crazy.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You can use the trackpad.
All right, so I have some sketches.
Some sweet pixel arts.
Yeah, those I did not make those. Those are just like style examples. So this is what I had in mind for the overall layout of the game. Game's called Coffee Cutie. The overall mechanic is that you are a barista. You work in a coffee shop. So people come up to you, they ask you for a drink. You've got a shift timer that runs down and a goal of money that you're supposed to make and a number of mistakes you're allowed to make. On the far right of the screen, you've got your ingredients. You have to put them in a certain order in order to make whatever drink the customer wants. And also, there are strange men staring at you and yelling.
All right.
Yeah, it's real
So,
life.
so the actual game kind of happens like this, where so there's a random chance that like one of these people will decide to hang around behind your counter and start yelling things like "Hey, sweet tits" at you.
I think this is quite relevant considering what's happening
It
in class
is.
Yeah.
right now. So this is a political game.
That's a real talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the pop-ups make it really difficult to actually navigate the game, even if the mechanic itself is pretty simple. So you can dismiss the people yelling at you by clicking on them, but there's a random chance that you'll incur some kind of consequence, like you'll make them mad, and then you'll lose one of your hearts.
So it's like acknowledging them by clicking the text,
Yeah,
basically.
by clicking them, like, because you can actually like see them over the edge of the counter. But like I said, like if you click on them, there's like a random chance that they're
They're gonna go
you will
talk to
incur
your
their wrath.
manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll go talk to your manager and like file a false report, or they'll like
That's great.
you know.
Cool.
Okay.
So it's a game about sexual harassment, making it difficult to do your job.
That's really freaking cool. We like this.
If this game gets any sort of monetization, can we donate a segment of those earnings to?
I would love that. To like some kind of like foundation or something.
A fund for hammers for everyone who works in this job and actually has to deal with this sort of bullshit. They can just kind of pull a hammer out of
Yeah.
their pocket.
It just seems like
Sorry, violence is not the answer, kids.
It can be,
Social change.
we'll make a foundation called Murder Those Who Sexually Harass.
That is a very catchy name. I like it.
That's terrible.
MT.
We'll hang out in places where service industry people work, and whenever we see gross men harassing women, we will
Chuck
murder
hammers
them.
at them.
We will give them
Right,
this
move,
game.
move on.
So that's what the game is, and it's mostly just this one menu. I realized that there actually is like one other little menu page, and that's when you pull up. There's a little like recipe book here where you have to like you can reference like what you need to make the drinks. Like say like there's like however many clicks on the milk, and then however many clicks on different flavored syrups. But again, it's like hard to get to because there are pop-ups of these sweet tits.
So I just think Pepper's Plate
Yeah, actually,
is kind of an inspiration, but
I love Papers, Please.
yeah, I like that it's completely
Simple.
different in like on so many levels. It's really different, but it's similar enough so that we can relate to something that's already out there. And,
I'm glad that you feel that way.
yeah, no, it's great.
I like that we can advertise this. Oh, you get to get the burgers.
Oh, it's so cute.
You can make it look like one of those little web games they have where
Yeah.
you're like serving stuff.
Yeah, I
The aesthetic would be
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
sure.
these.
It
Like,
seems
sorry,
like
these are
it.
really small, but like, yeah, I had the idea that it would be like really cute pixel art,
Perfect.
like really,
Subvert
really
the whole
cute.
thing. Just
Yeah.
kick it in the face.
Yeah, just start it and it's just
Like, really
cute.
cute.
And, oh, you make some coffee and that is really cute. And
Like these are just things that I found on Tumblr.
Yeah, who's done this? Do you know?
I don't know. I just searched like cute food pixel, and these are things that came up.
Okay, so you're
So-
thinking 2D pixel art for the...
Yeah, which I think kind of works better for the group anyway, because it seems like
That
a
works.
lot more of the artists in the group are like 2D capable.
Yeah, I mean, that works.
Um,
I know Rodrigo was wanting to do a pixel art game. I love pixel art.
I do pixel as well.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
sure most of us at least dabble in
I'm
pixel art. I am too. This is... yeah, this one has my vote.
So that's Coffee Cutie. I don't know. Are there any like questions about it? Like, is there any like thing that's vague or unclear?
So what's the main thing that you're trying to do? You have like different combinations of stuff that you have to put together to make a drink?
Yeah, you're trying to make drinks successfully. You're trying to do your job,
Okay.
get through the day, and make the amount of money that you need to make to keep that job and like pay your rent.
And you have like a list of all the ingredients that you need for each
Oh yeah, you have like a list, and they're very like limited. I can pull up the big like the menu again. So like yeah, you've got like different kinds of milk, and then like sugar and different flavored syrups. And then you have to like finish the drink with like a cap and like the like heat cuff. And then there's like a set combination that each drink has that you have to execute correctly, which isn't terribly complicated in and of itself. Like you just like click like the milk and then steam it, and then click like vanilla 2 times and sugar once, and then
I have a question.
Okay, so different combinations and numbers of each click.
I know you, like sort of like Papers, Please, you're gonna have like a shift, and then it ends at a certain point. But are you thinking of like there's a certain amount of time you need to get through this job, like, and then you're gonna quit or something, or is there gonna be like what happens at the end?
at the end. I think that would make sense. Like you get to be promoted, or else you get fed up and you get to quit.
Okay, so sort of have like good and bad.
Yeah, different outcomes maybe depending on how you do.
And then
if it were
fail,
expanded
you're
into
fired, basically.
yeah, if you fail, you're fired.
Okay.
Given that we're just making like a prototype version, I think it would probably just be like individual rounds of this.
Yeah.
And then your goal, I guess, is to get the highest number of cash, because you see the cash on the bottom left there?
Yeah,
So
you have like a minimum
that's-
amount that you need to like at least break even.
Okay.
But
Maybe
yeah.
keep cash, like balance cash versus customer satisfaction, kind of combine the two as your final number, and then output whatever the
yeah, you're trying not
Total
to
score.
fuck up too many times.
It's from personal experience of having been a barista.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've worked in a couple coffee shops.
So do you have a specific time amount that you have to make your drink so that your customer is happy?
I don't think individual drinks necessarily need to have a timer. You just have an overall timer, so if you're not making them fast enough, you'll flunk. In the same way that, like, I don't know, we were talking about Papers, Please. There's no individual timer for individual, like, papers that you're processing. It's just that if you're not processing them fast enough, you don't meet your quota and you can't pay your bills.
So I think definitely something for everyone to look at for this one would definitely be Papers, Please.
There's another.
And then some of those like web games where you're like serving customers in a restaurant.
There's a game called Valhalla, which is a cyberpunk bartender action, which is more on a narrative.
Cyberpunk
Yeah, it's on
bartender action game?
Yeah.
Can you run that by me again?
Cyberpunk bartender action game.
Yeah. It's on.
Bartender's like, oh shit!
How do you spell it?
It's VA-11
Yeah.
space HALL-A.
VA-11
Space
You can just go on
Space.
each. It's on the
HALL
page.
-A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's an article on Rock Paper Shotgun about
I'll
it.
pull it up on the one so that everybody can see it on the.
And it's more about talking to customers. So it's pretty different from what you want to do. It's not exactly an action game.
Yeah, don't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cool.
I think it's free. You can donate.
Right there.
Yeah. So there's no timer in this. There's a score, and you have to talk to customers and establish communication. I guess I don't know.
Do you make drinks as well?
Yeah.
With all these little things over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I'd
Just
be
saying.
willing to move on like the actual mechanic a little bit because I don't profess to be an expert in game design, so.
But it's definitely something we can take a look at this. We can take a look at Papers,
Yeah.
Papers, Please. We can take a look at some generic like.
What you
random
have
red
sounds
games,
solid.
stuff like that, to see kind of what works.
Design looks much better than that.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is an interesting take on narratives. Again, it's not exactly like Papers, Please or what you want to do. I think it's a little different.
It's interesting though.
It looks like it's ready to be on DMs.
Is this you?
I don't know.
It's cute.
Looking at it, I wouldn't be surprised if you are you. Like there's
you
no
are
character
yourself.
avatar.
Yeah.
You're just
That's how I would want Coffee Cutie to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
you are
the
you.
better way to do it. There's no point in
Um,
having like
Like
another
an
person to
actual,
show it
like,
off on, basically.
avatar,
It's like
yeah.
mental disconnect if you do it that way.
We want it to be as direct as the.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
no, this is
Yeah.
you getting hit on by creepy awkward dudes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to speak at
You
least
can
somewhat
even
in
be like,
favor
"I don't have
of your
boobs."
current mechanic because I don't think it needs to be tweaked that much. I think that as the game it looks to be on surface level, it would be interesting, And I think when you add in the difficulty, it is still an interesting game.
Yeah.
It's like if you have enough recipes, I think that's going to be where the fun is going to be. Trying to figure out where the
Which one
hell,
you
like
want.
how do I,
I think
try to
that's
memorize
how-
everything, get everything kind of.
You can make it more like again like referencing Papers, Please. Like have
Yeah.
you add more rules as time
Right.
goes on, add
Right.
more drinks.
Add
And there's
more
some things you
drinks
could
and
do
stuff
that
as
also
well.
reflect what I understand of the barista experience, although I've never been one, where you have a seasonal drink that exists
Oh, yeah,
for
seasonal
a
drinks.
certain
Yeah,
time.
right.
That's
And then
good.
it goes
And you have to
away.
like push it really hard.
Yeah, and then it goes away, and then people keep ordering it, and you no longer have the recipe on hand. You have
So
to
like we could keep a
That's great.
spot on the UI like that
So,
is like
like-
seasonal item or whatever, and like every now and then something will pop up on there, and you have to like start making drinks with that, and then like it'll go away and those sorts of things.
Because I know that like some place had a butterbeer recipe for a while.
Oh no.
and-
That
no.
people claim that
Okay.
Starbucks will make butterbeer for you, but
Yes.
it's just like a thing that people found on the internet that is
Yeah.
a certain combination
Okay.
of syrups, and nobody at Starbucks actually knows that off the top of their head. You have to be able to tell them how.
Okay.
That's
And
another
like so
like-
that's the thing. People will walk into Starbucks and be like, "Oh, can you make me a butterbeer?" And
Yeah,
they'll be
I-
like, "What?"
I see that as a level of difficulty that could be added. that people are
Yeah,
requesting drinks that don't
absolutely.
exist.
Cap'n Crunch also people do it with Cap'n Crunch.
That.
I want a Cap'n Crunch Frappuccino, and you're like, that's not a thing.
Well, just take Captain Crunch and you just shove it in the cappuccino.
You should just keep a box of cereal and just make them a frappuccino and just pour Captain Crunch all over the top.
It's actually a combination. Like I looked it up since then. It's a combination of like basically just whipped cream and hazelnut, just tons of whipped cream and hazelnut, and like a little bit of strawberry.
It's probably something one
Sorry,
person
you did.
started one
I'm sure.
Starbucks and then everyone was like,
was like,
I know about this.
They have butterbeer Orlando.
I just imagine like there's like those settings, but the difficulties are like the hours in which like it,
Oh yeah. Like depending on what
oh,
hours you're
so like
working.
you have to work the night shift is
That's
the worst
definitely
one?
a
night
thing.
shift, or like it's like 6 in the morning where
6 in the
everybody's
morning.
like completely pissed. They're just like all
Well,
like
like I've worked at like I don't know, like I've worked like right after like say school, like and like 4 o'clock is like a pretty easy shift, but I've also worked at like 3 a.m. when it's just like drunk people. Like
I
so that's like a really interesting
That
point,
could
I
be
think.
fun. That could be fun to keep everything on a slider in terms of like the number of like random objects that pop up. So like say you have a slider that goes over to one
And you
side
think,
for
you know,
night shift,
9
and like
o'clock you have a rush.
it's creepy dudes
6
just
o'clock you have a
constantly
rush,
like
and then you
creepy
have a
people.
rush.
But then like 6 o'clock you have like tons of people, and they're not necessarily more vulgar or creepy. It's just like there's a lot of
There's a lot
people,
of
as opposed to like a lot of the pop-ups and stuff. Which would
It would be interesting at the 3 a.m. to have drunk people whose orders get delivered in mush mouth, and you have to try and figure
You
out
have to
what
do
they're
something.
Yes, drunk people, awesome.
Yeah.
I know all of our
Just to
games
guess
have
what
drunk
it is,
level.
right?
Yes, all of our games from this
What
day
do you
forward
want?
have to have a drunk level. We need a drunk on 0
Right, yeah.
by next week. Get it to me. I need that.
Well, I used to have people order in and they'd order things that were like not even things that we had. They'd be like, maybe a panini. Oh my! I want a margarita. No, we can carry that.
okay for the drunk level 0 weight. If you spend a certain number of times, you actually vomit.
Your screen gets covered in some kind of.
It's a Kojima game,
Makes sense
guys.
for a cup of
I think we're
cubes
getting a
to
little
have
out of hand, maybe.
that.
But
That's
it's
right.
Oh,
People
God.
probably don't even scream.
I think you should just make it like for sake of it.
Yeah.
Like it's
Just turn it all green and put a fisheye lens on
Yeah.
it. Done.
That's
Yeah, have
it.
them like wavy
and then it's
water
impossible to navigate.
Yes.
You can't do anything.
bullshit. Perfect.
And you go home and cry in your bed and you fall asleep.
Yes. Yes.
Just getting too real, guys.
All right. Let's make this a less depressing meeting now. Any further?
So that's my point.
So I feel really good about this game, and now I would like to see if anyone is willing to follow it.
Follow it.
Like pitches.
Don't say
Oh.
that.
Yeah. Who's up next?
Yeah, is anyone else here going
I'm
to
not pitching this game.
Oh, I
I
thought you were
decided not
pitching.
to.
Okay.
No,
Right.
because I want to dive into 0 weight requirements.
Okay. So yeah, any other further comments on this while we're here?
I have a question about the sexual harassment part of the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's something that makes me uncomfortable and makes me think if somebody playing the game will, I mean,
I think we should put a trigger warning on it if that's
Yeah.
what you're getting at.
okay, yeah. Don't you think that most people would feel uncomfortable?
That's
Well,
the
that's
point.
not the point. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you about like sending a message or about just like having fun or something?
Yeah,
It sounds
exactly.
like it's a message game.
It's a message game.
Okay.
Yeah. It's about like having the experience. I don't know. Like personally, I just like I'm really tired of people saying that sexism's not a thing. So like the idea behind the game is like making a really small sort of experience of having to deal with it in a way that's practical.
I don't think there being some kind of underlying intention in having fun have to be at odds with each other.
Yeah, it can still be like a fun mechanic.
Yeah,
too.
it sounds like a game with a message that's going to be way more fun than 90% of the games with messages.
That's true. Yeah.
There's a lot of the games I play with
somewhat of a
messages are not fun.
caricature of what's going on. It's not
Right.
going to be like
Yeah,
it's pixel art, you know. It's not like photorealistic people like harassing you.
Yeah, it's not going to be like you leave work and a man follows you home.
No,
Yeah,
right,
it's very much stylized. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It draws attention to what's going on, but it's also a fun game.
But that's kind of the tension that we're gonna have the most fun with. Like, at what point, like.
Where does it break?
Where does it kind of break apart? But that we'll have to figure that out with the writing of everything, because obviously there will have to be somebody doing writing for this to make all the lines and all that sort of stuff.
I mean, like,
And just,
from the get-go, this game idea is going to get, like, if it were potentially to get released on the internet, like...
Yeah, it's gonna catch flack.
There's
it
already
wouldn't make
a lot of
everybody
games.
happy.
Right.
So,
I mean, there's a lot of platforms where, I mean, again, like each is the perfect platform for that. Like the game we played at the Indiecade, you know, about the young girl who was trying to make love with
Oh,
dogs.
yeah.
Like this
That's
game
a
is
really
also
nice
about
way to put it,
sexual,
making love
not
with
sexual
the
harassment,
dolls.
but there's also some sexual component in this one. And all these games can be on EDDB, on each, can be featured on Rock Paper Shotgun, Polygon. Now, I mean, even though there's a lot of turmoil in the video game industry about all that, that's also the right time to discuss all
I
these
agree. I think
matters
there's an audience
and
for it.
having some response.
And I think just a simple trigger warning is fine. Like just
You can
make people
say
aware,
it like
and that's
right
enough.
from on the page, yeah.
And another
Just
thing,
have an
like,
image of it.
Nathan and I saw well, okay, I'm going to bring this up as sort of a bad example, even though I didn't play it. We saw a virtual reality Oculus game at Indiecade, and it was recreating
Ugh,
a police brutality event of some kind.
Oh, yeah.
And it was
That's
based
cool.
off of a
Like a
witness's
Ferguson
account.
or something? Or?
It's
Sort
like
of
you're
in
there
that
and you're
vein.
taking pictures with your cell phone of it happening.
Yeah.
That didn't seem like an actual game, and it didn't seem fun. And I understand they did it to like raise awareness, but I think the best way to do that would be to maybe make some kind of experience people want.
Right.
And I
Make a
think
game
this
that's
is
fun,
actually
right.
this is a game and this is fun. It's not like I'm being preached at, and that definitely like gave me the impression that it was just being kind of preachy.
Was that in the firehouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The capture setup?
Yeah, in that left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't really have a motivation to play that because I'm like, well, already knowing about the circumstances, I'm kind of already on your side. So what are you trying to go for here? And so yeah. And anyway, I think it has a good balance in its original concept.
Just can poke fun in it without being too heavy into it. And I mean, it's going to be sort of brief snippets or brief snippets of dialogue or what have you. So it's not like I'm just constantly preaching at you with this huge like document of exactly why everything you know is wrong or
But
whatever.
it's
Like that.
also,
It's just
I mean, Ness was right, it's not photorealistic in any ways.
Right.
So
Very
I shouldn't
stylized,
worry too
very-
much about it.
It's very cartoony.
Yeah.
That's going to be also interesting how we're going to go about sound design, because that's also going to inform exactly how stylized this is as an experience, as an environment.
I think WarioWare is like the closest example I can think of where there might be like cues of like, hey,
Oh yeah.
hey.
Yeah.
Like,
I think extensive voice acting would not lend itself well in this game.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Just like a brief, I don't know, like Sims-esque sort of like, maybe
Yeah,
if we
like
Also, I
Sims
mean-
or Animal Crossing.
like yeah, something like that. Just like a
I
brief-
don't want to actually hear
Right.
Yeah,
people
definitely.
like sexually harassing me.
I don't need my game to
That-
start
that
announcing,
makes
hey,
it
baby.
way
I mean,
less
I
fun.
get
Yeah, this
that.
is part of like where we're having to strike that balance, I think.
Yeah,
between, like, making
I
it
think
fun
like
and keeping
fun and
it fun.
testing and trying to figure out like what makes you miserable playing it and what is fun and sort of like I think making it
Tongue-in-cheek
kind of
sort of.
funny at the same maybe
Like it should be a little
Yeah.
frustrating too.
Yeah, oh definitely.
But definitely
it's,
still
it's
fun.
gonna be like kind of finding the balance.
Yeah.
Cool idea. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. It's gonna be a hard act to follow for anybody. So if they want to jump into the fire, I can kind of pitch a brief one that I can mention at least. Go for it.
I don't think anybody else here has a pitch thing.
Okay. I mean, that's fine, and we can go through the Trello board as well and kind of look at what's there.
Yeah, this
also.
is actually really some interesting project on the Trello board.
And I'm sure there are.
I think if they're going to
Like London
be running the project, they would here.
But I mean, some of these are people that are here. Like Legulary's been posted since the last project thing.
Oh, you mean things that were pitched before?
Yeah, I mean, like, the things that are already there that we've discussed.
Oh, yeah, I was just talking about new things that we haven't heard before.
I put myself on Wayclamates. I don't remember, but I think it's also interesting.
Yeah, that was Rika's idea. But yeah,
Where's Rika? Where's Rika?
at work.
Oh, she's working.
Way Forward. Yeah, that's why we have contact with Way Forward. So yeah, she's the one that got all the people and got all of those guys here for that. So, yeah. And everybody's aware of the situation with the Way Forward / Yacht Club Games thing being delayed.
Do we have any details on when they might actually be coming?
They sent me an email, I sent them an email. They responded saying that they weren't able to make it this week because they were just sending Sean Alaska here. So he'll be coming in. They said possibly next week. That's like they said like, we're sorry, we can't make it this week. He's out of town. Can we would next week work for you? And I sent them back an email saying, yeah, it should be fine. Let me double check, and then I double checked, and yeah, that's fine. And they haven't responded since then, but presumably, yeah. So yeah, hopefully next week we'll see. And then Way Forward is like next month, I think, is what they're going to do now. And as I mentioned, they're going to be bringing in other stuff. I'm not going to say what because we don't have it tied down yet. But
what about the guy from Hyperlight Drifter?
Hyperlight Drifter?
Yeah, we met the guy. And he was
guy?
I don't know, one of the guys who gave us the car. He was quite eager to also.
Oh, the sound guy, maybe by
the sound
chance.
guy,
Akash.
Yeah,
the car. I've sent him an email. I guess I should mention this. So I've talked to that guy. Akash the car, I think is his name. Something like that. He does sound design and music stuff for games professionally. Like he's worked with several companies and stuff. And he's offered to give us a talk, like over Skype, or maybe if he's ever in the area again, about specifically working with sound design / music in games. So, I mentioned that we have kind of a range of people, like we're all at least somewhat trained in sound design work, because, character requires that for second year. And then you guys are obviously sound tech people. So we have at least some training for everybody here and blah 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 blah. And so he's aware of kind of our situation, and he said that he would love to just talk to us about how to work more professionally or whatever, how to work on a grander scale or whatnot as a sound designer or with sound designers or for sound designers or that sort of stuff. Just some techniques and tricks and things like that too, that games use as opposed to other projects. Things like that. So yeah, he's offered to give us a talk via Skype or something similar. Or, again, we could wait for a while, and if he's ever in the area again, which he goes to all the little, talks and things, like Indie Cage with him and those sorts of things. But, yeah, I don't have any details on that. I don't know what's going on with that. But, yeah.
I think we should also talk about that. We have Bruce here.
Oh, yeah.
He's a programmer.
Yeah, that's true.
We can work on 3 games at the same time.
Are you up for game network? Okay. Okay. Great. So we could potentially do 3, depending on art and everything else. Depending on who's willing to do what, we could potentially do.
Yeah, that's rad. But the only thing I'm worried about is having enough people.
Stretching the stuff too thin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be as things per project basis, depending on what we select. So Legulary is going to be not too difficult in terms of.
Maybe a little heavy in terms of codes.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
I'm not sure. Do you have any idea how to do the Legulary?
I have some ideas. Yes.
You have some ideas. Complicated? Not too. How is that looking?
I don't think it's going to be overly difficult.
Okay.
That I can handle it by myself if I was going to do that.
Okay.
I'm very interested.
It's I'm thinking game design wise, basically I'm thinking the big deal with that one is going to be just getting the character to move.
Right.
Once we get the character to move, it's just basically a platform at that point.
Right, and we'll have to come up with some game design concepts.
Sure. Yes, that's going to be the big deal in that one. It's going to be game design.
Right.
Alex, that's probably. You want to talk about it?
But
Do you want to talk about the game design?
Yeah, go ahead. But yeah, so I think Legularity, the big issue is going to be making it fun, making it like, because obviously it's a great idea. It's
like
so fun in our heads.
It's got a lot of like, it's going to be really novel, and it's going to have this sort of like Octodad thing of like, oh,
Yes.
this is a funny control scheme, and
Right.
it's going to last about like 20 minutes before, or not even that long before
Right.
people, that wears off, and you have to actually have a fun game.
Right. So I think game design, whoever feels the most comfortable in terms of their game design chops needs to be the game designer on that one, because that's going to be a trick. I've been like trying to mill over in my head the level design on that, and I can't puzzle it out.
Yeah,
I can't figure it out.
I'm going to help on the game design with that,
Mhm.
but I'm not going to be able to do that alone.
Yeah. The game design in Legularity is going to be complicated. It's going to be definitely a group endeavor, so all three of the people who are involved in that one are definitely going to have some fun with that.
Couldn't it potentially just be a one-shot thing where you have one level and the goal is to get to the doctor's office or whatever?
It could be an endless runner as well.
Yeah.
Like it could be something that's just like you have a big series of like things to walk over or whatever.
Yeah.
But the question is,
That says a one shot, though, since it does have that end getting to the doctor.
kind of agreed, but again, my question is, how do you make that fun? What do you do with the platforms? How do you like arrange the level so that it's entertaining? How do you design enemies or obstacles that are built around your character's legs constantly growing
I
longer and longer?
understand what
you
you're
know?
saying. I'm just
It's
saying, like, making multiple levels of that would make it, that's just even more difficult to pop on top of that.
I feel like the best way to approach Legularity would probably be endless runner.
I
You
also
know,
think
just like
the
run
question
until you
asks-
screw up and then
It's
stop.
tricky though, because I really think that takes away like the point of the game.
But you gotta get to the
I feel like the control scheme isn't like suited to an endless runner, because endless runners are kind of like fast, and you just like try to keep going, and if you keep growing, then the level designs are not really going to be able to grow and keep up with that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's
And-
gonna max out sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Either way, though,
My thought towards it is
Yeah.
that it might have to literally grow out of the doctor's office scale, because I really want to see Legularity walking on planets.
I think it could.
That's a
Maybe
little.
like a larger version, it could, but for the sake of like a prototype.
Yeah, for the sake of the prototype, definitely. Yeah, for the sake of the prototype, definitely stick it to the doctor's office run. Either way, we'll have to figure out the scale, like the maximum and the minimum scale for the game.
Also,
Figure out
it's-
how it grows.
Like in terms of assets, that is going to be complex because we would need assets that either can, like, I don't know, shift into perspective or whatever. I have no idea. Yeah, to wrap that around my head as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yes.
So it'll end up being a lot more complicated than it seems to be.
Yeah, Legular is going to be fairly complicated. That's why I didn't want to do it the first project. It's got some meat to that project, so we've got to deal with a lot of things on it. Very simple in terms of like making it, because like Ness said, they have the idea kind of there already for how that's going to work. The visuals,
Yeah.
relatively simple, 2D platformer sort of situation. But there are two big questions: how do you design the level, and how do you design the character to be constantly growing, constantly in flux? So that's going to have to be discussed. We can figure that out within whoever wants to start working on that. Yeah. For now, though, let's continue with pitches. I know Wilder has one now that he's walked in, and I'll briefly mention mine as well. I guess I'll just mention, since I'm standing here, I'll just mention mine now. Did everybody see the game that I brought to the Black and White Gallery last year? The little for a two-man soccer title thing that I posted? Okay. I am working on the full story of that right now. Let me just open Unity and show. But I'm working on the single-player experience of that. But it also has a really good, or whatever, at least I think, and other people tend to agree, multiplayer aspect of it. So, there's a lot to the game. So like I said, I'm kind of covering the one side, but the other side is completely dead and empty, and I'm not touching it because it's way too much for me to handle on my own. But within a small group, we could absolutely kind of make that work. If it'll launch...
Is it not playing nice with the broadcaster or something? Oh.
I don't know what the deal is. I'll just arena map 1, I think is the. Whew. Sorry about the delay. Yes. Okay, close all of that. There we go. Okay, so I have the basics built, but even then, it's really crappily coded.
Oh, you removed the trails.
I did not.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the blue. That's
Yeah, it was just the bar.
Of course.
But so that basically simple little. Yeah. God.
That's right.
Yeah. But anyway, so you get the idea. Simple little game, but you also have abilities and stuff. So you can like toss in walls, do. Oh, I've got the full range of abilities on this. Oh, is that not? Okay, just 2 of them are working. This is not the right 2. Okay. Anyway, so you have a couple of different things you can do, and yeah. So my thought for the game is to have a crap ton of different abilities and like full customization on what abilities you have. So you would have a set of 4 things, 1 passive and then 3 active. Like 1 passive, 1 kind of weapon in your hand that you can use at all times, and then 2 spells that are based on your magic and all that other stuff. So yeah, and then all kind of built around this idea of a soccer game. So, you know, there's quite a bit of. Like I would need all of the different abilities and powers and things to be tossed in there. Obviously, it doesn't have a graphic user interface of any kind. The graphics are obviously temporary right now. I have some of the basics kind of worked out for the single player side of things, but again, I would need like a lot more for the multiplayer side of things. And then just level design and all this other stuff. So there's a lot there that still needs to get done, and I think it could be really cool, and people have enjoyed it, and other things like that. So, depending on how you guys feel about starting or doing a project that's already at least somewhat started, you know, I think it's interesting. So, just wanted to toss it out there and let anybody.
How much would be done in the programming end?
Enough.
Yeah.
My code right now is terabad. I'm not even going to pretend that it's not. One thing that I don't have is an inventory system, and it's desperately needed. I would also I would need a way to pick up and drop items. I would need all the different spells and abilities and stuff because I've only got a couple that kind of tossed in there. The ball mechanic is a wreck right now. The ball mechanic is a nightmare. It doesn't work even as well as I want it to, and my bar is set really low.
Okay.
So it needs a lot of refinement, but the basics are sort of there.
Yeah. I'm assuming that you would want some sort of AI for a single player.
Actually, for the single-player side of things, I would kind of keep that contained to myself. I do want to talk to one of you guys about helping me out with a couple of things on that, but it's very minor things. It would just be like a couple, like a little, like I need spike traps to pop up out of the floor. I need a couple of little things like that that I could manage, but one of you guys could probably manage in like an hour as opposed to me spending like days on it, you know? So I want to talk to you guys, regardless of whether or not anybody else wants to help me out on the multiplayer side of things. I'd like to talk about, just a little bit of things here and there. Yeah.
It's lacking feng shui.
Sorry, I didn't catch feng shui.
It's lacking feng shui. Feng shui. Yeah. Feng shui.
I'm confused why that's relevant. Okay. Teo's being Teo. Thoughts, questions, comments? Yes.
So you said that you kind of wanted to be one of the soccer?
Yeah, I mean it's what the gameplay is already sort of there. So like the ball is in place, you run to one goal or the other, and you score by tossing it into the goal. And then you go back to the middle, grab the ball again, or we could work out some other way of approaching that or whatever. But yeah, just a basic soccer game is kind of the idea. The levels being a little bit more interesting, obviously, with the platforms and stuff. And then you have like different abilities and stuff to toss in that would screw things up. Like that screws everybody up. It's great fun.
There's the shortcut still, right?
Huh?
Still have the shortcuts.
Shortcut.
You had a shortcut. You were able to get through walls.
Oh, the teleport. The teleport's still in there. It's just not loaded up. I had when I made this build, I had 4 abilities. I reduced it down to 2 in terms of the spells. So the second spell is just set for Fireball right now. It's that right there.
The teleport was great.
yeah, so all the things to get done, all the effects animation needs to be in there, all that other sort of stuff. So there's a lot to get done here if anyone is interested in working on that. So playtest has gone well so far. You guys are welcome to give it a shot, but if you want to try it before you decide if you want to work on it and that sort of thing. But yeah, I wanted to mention that. Also available for a job.
I think it'd be cool to work on something that's already got remote stuff as well. Because I played it when you first had it in the show or whatever. And it was really fun. Like obviously the graphics are really simple right now, but it sort of reminds me of like a Mario Party game. It gets you really frustrated really fast. Or at least I got really angry, and then I just stood there and I kept playing until I beat everyone.
Gotcha. So what I've got on screen now is kind of the visuals so far. Pixel art, 3D.
I'm a little worried about that actually, because I did not put two and two together that these were the same game. Because there's such a top-down angle, I'm worried about.
I've been testing the camera.
Okay.
I've been testing the camera. It's functional. It works okay. Hell.
This is a different game we're looking at now?
Same game.
Oh, this is the same game? Same game?
So you're going for sort of like a for fantasy theme here in general?
Yes. I have a whole story involved in this. Do I have... Hold on, sorry. Player 1 has it.
This is the one you're doing instead of your film, right?
Or as my film, as it were. Yeah. So this is what the camera looks like right now. So you can see your character. Ignore the capsule that's inside of him, but you can see the character. You get a decent enough read on it, I find. You can see the face. You can see what's there. You can see who you are, that sort of thing. It's enough.
The other characters even better.
And you can see the other characters phenomenally. So like I've tossed in this same model just as like over here, and you can read it perfectly. Like you see the character.
Cool.
Great. It's just like the main character, the one that you are, is the one that kind of has issues. But I've angled the camera at this point now enough that you can see it, and I'm still tweaking.
So the way things are going to be, eventually you're going to need like animation for all the
Yes. Yes. So I'm working on that. The character is rigged. What am I in? Pose mode. So yeah, the character's rigged. You can do things.
Can you just like send me this rig?
But yeah, so the character's there. It's animatable at this point. But yeah, I'm still kind of tweaking things, obviously.
You rigged it in Blender?
Huh?
You rigged it in
Rigged it in Blender. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Very, very simple to rig in Blender. Like at least in this, to this extent, very simple.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, Blender's been actually kind of pleasant to work in so far. It's got some issues, but yeah. But yeah, so that's my thing. Moving on. We've only got a few minutes left, so.
Well, there's none on Trello.
Oliver's not on Trello. That's
Yep.
fine. I don't think he's in the group officially either.
Well, if you want to pitch, it'd be good having this pitch. And
Yes, it'd be good to have his pitch on Trello. We'll.
Yeah, so
I'll make sure we get you in there.
Are we going to use the same voting method as before, where we put our names on the cards?
I think it worked. There's also a voting thing. I enabled it, I think.
Oh, you enabled it.
Yes, I found it. And power-ups.
Vote.
Voting is enabled, so we can vote. We can vote, folks. Oh wait, you can vote already?
Yep.
How do you vote? I haven't looked at it. Oh, vote! Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, we'll manage that. Wilder, did you want to? Do you have anything to show, like visually show?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a flash drive or anything, or? I'm not sure. It's like because my computer's the only one that's broadcasting, so it's the only one that we can. It's what?
well, you can access a student account from a computer, right, by connecting to servers.
I can do that remotely? From a laptop? Yeah, but not a Mac? I have no idea how I would approach it.
And yeah, that's.
Huh. Yeah, I have no idea how to do that.
Yeah, you can even access some mana to get everything. Yes, that's
Right. So I wouldn't know where to begin on that one, unless you know how to approach that with from a Windows side of things.
I guess you just connect to an FTP. I mean,
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to manage that. But, yeah, so give Wilder a minute to transfer his files and stuff.
So when we're voting on things, because last time we were voting with membership, so
Mhm.
people who wanted to work on a game put themselves on that game, and that's how we determined it.
Yeah.
What if you want to vote for a game to be made but don't necessarily want to work on it? Are we frowning upon that? Or should you realistically vote
Because
for
the
a
votes
game
are anonymous, right?
and work on it?
So there's nothing really keeping you from voting on something that you don't want to work on.
That's probably true, but do try to keep it down to things that you are at least willing to do something on. Because I don't want everybody to vote for, I don't know, spaghetti western, but nobody actually want to work on it.
Okay.
You know, it's like if everybody votes something, yeah, this is a great idea, but somebody else needs to take care of that. Then who's on the team? Yeah. So yeah, try to keep it to what you're willing to actually do something. I mean, it doesn't matter what you're willing to do. Like if you want to do game design on something, that's fine. If you want to do art on something, it's fine. If you want to do I don't know whatever UI, I don't know, but yeah, something.
What's the name of the game that you just?
I'll put a thing on there. I haven't posted it on Trello, so I'll make sure it's separate. It's Lux, Latin for the word light.
Is Reincarnate the game?
Reincarnate?
Yeah.
That was one of the ones that it was. All the votes are from
it's not sure.
last time.
Oh, here we go.
And I wonder, like, if you're still kind of like to it, or
I would say if you're not still into it, remove your vote from it. Because otherwise it's complicated.
Oh wait, shoot,
kind of
sorry.
bad.
Right.
Why don't we use just votes this time?
Just votes this time, we think?
Yeah.
I mean, we can also just manually clear out all the previous members, like member add as well, which we should probably do anyway.
Does your
Okay, yeah, you go ahead and do that, and then we'll be doing votes this time we've done this. So.
does your computer have ZBrush?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I have some ZBrush models that I haven't brought into Maya yet.
Yeah, I don't have any kind of access to ZBrush.
Where is the desktop? How do I access that?
That is the desktop. What are you looking for?
I just dropped something here and it's not there.
What do you mean you dropped something there? No, I don't have desktop icons.
Okay, how does this work?
What did you just drop?
Well, I just took something from my drive and I just wanted to access it.
Just launch it from the drive.
Oh.
It's not going to hurt anything.
Okay.
I'm not running off of a server or anything, so it's not going to slow anything down from you.
I could open this. You have Maya, right?
Yeah, I have Maya. I've got that much.
Cool. So, my game is kind of, I guess the idea is like it's this 3D adventure platformer game. Oh, what is this?
That was that's a thing that Maya opens up.
Oh, what's that?
It's just a thing with Maya. Just leave it there.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm not very experienced with Maya. I don't know. I didn't really know about this game group until like a few weeks ago, and then I came, and then I got like kind of overwhelmed because I thought that my idea was like way too much like for me to do since I've never even done like any CG before. But I don't know. I've been taking like a ZBrush class, and I started just like sculpting some of the characters that I had in mind, and like Ben's been helping me rig them, and I'm also taking Unity class, and it's like a lot more intuitive and easy than I thought it was. So I started working on the game again. So what is going on here? Okay.
I've got like so many programs running right now, and it's broadcasting over the internet.
Yeah.
So.
Could I log into my Google Drive?
Yeah, you'll probably have to log out of mine.
Okay.
It's fine.
I could show you guys some of the designs real quick. Oh crap.
You just go to add account, that's fine.
Okay. That's a lot.
I've got my personal account, my school account, my professional account, and then the Kellogg's Game Makers account as well.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
So it's the lives.
yeah, that's fairly normal to me.
So.
Using Kellogg's email address as a professional.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, that's also why I have Kellogg's account and professional.
Yeah.
Obviously.
In organization, like, I get so many emails from CalArts. I don't want to deal with that. Like, if I get an
There's
email
like
from
a-
my professional one, I know it's important.
There's some of the designs for some of the characters in this world. It's like Judgment Droids, Phantasms, and I guess these will be like enemies that you fight. But oops. And then the Vil, and I modeled this guy right here. And I'm working on like some background elements right now. And he plays Jibbo, who's like this frog-like creature. Here, I could actually show you this, like, this other thing. Sorry, I should have got more organized for this. What's that? I mean, I could just pass this around, I guess. I don't know. Did Maya load? If Maya load, I could show you guys. Okay, this is not it at all.
Are you trying to show us a model of the character?
I'm trying to. Yeah, it's easier if I could open ZBrush because I have all the characters in ZBrush. Maybe this one. Yeah, it might be this one. Yeah.
Well, there's no way we can put ZBrush in.
Yeah, no, that's not.
Hayden's computer.
That's not. That doesn't make any. That doesn't. Yeah.
Could you pull it up on one of these?
Yeah, I could just show you guys on one of these screens. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, so here's Jibbo. He's the main character.
That's probably too many polygons, right?
Yeah.
What's the number?
Actually, we like retopologized it. So,
20,000. So
with a lot less,
it's
a lot
high
less
poly
polygons.
style, but 20,000 is doable in like as a full game product.
Yeah.
Antennas should be, of course, refined. But yeah.
Yeah.
But it's within workable range.
The hands a bit. Yeah, I think that this was left over from ZBrush. And then I guess we don't need to apologize that section. Yeah, it's like the.
So there's a lot. It's within the realm of possibility of working with them.
Mm-hmm.
The big question, I think the big issue with this would be that he is 20,000 polygons. That means everything in the game has to match him.
Right.
That's a lot of model.
Yeah, I mean, I model relatively quickly. I've made already like a tree and some elements and stuff.
But you would need a lot of trees.
That's true. Yeah,
Just
I'm
be
gonna
aware.
make like probably at least 5 or 6 different trees, if not more. You kind of like you run around as this character. He can jump really high because he's like frog-like, I guess. And his glove. Right. Okay. Well, the actual like plot is that he finds this glove because he's like a junk collector. Like he finds artifacts and sells them. And he finds this glove, and it tells him to like put it on, and so he does, and then it like attaches to his like nervous system and like. Yeah, it's the Omnis Power Glove, but yeah. So then, but it's like this kind of right. Sorry. Here, wait. I have an idea. Here we go. This is kind of a basic summary of the world and like a bunch of ideas and stuff I've had. But I mean, if I was gonna make, I think I would rather just make like one level and then like see how that goes. Because the entire game is a lot bigger than, I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of, the story's kind of just a setup for the fun, I guess.
Which, I mean, that's kind of how we approached the first two projects
Right,
as well. So
right.
like that's
Yeah, but basically the game takes place in the Brink, which is like this kind of really unstable dimension with like portals just constantly opening up in the sky, and so there's like kind of all these different elements from these various dimensions. It's kind of just a mishmash of this really strange place. That's kind of like one of the main like that's why he goes and finds like random artifacts that are like from the other dimensions and are interesting, and he can sell them. But yeah, so basically he finds this glove, and then there's like these robots that are trying to get the glove, and so you have to fight and run away from the robots. What's that? I was thinking he could punch with the glove, and he could possibly do like spells and stuff with the glove, because it uses like energy called the ether, which that's like why the glove is so special and everyone's going after it. It like is able to harness this ether energy.
Do you have a game on it similar, like you were saying, Kingdom Hearts, that sort of thing?
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess it's inspired by like, I don't know, I guess like Kingdom Hearts or like Jak and Daxter, or like Ratchet and Clank. Kind of like fun combined with kind of scary scariness also. I guess like I don't know.
Third person adventure game.
Yeah, third person. Yeah, action adventure game. Yeah.
So like a Jak and Daxter,
Yeah.
it's like a Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
Not action RPG.
Yeah.
I think that's how
But it's
Kingdom Hearts
also-
is
Right.
different.
Right.
It's also, I don't know. It's also like an open world type game where you can kind of just like drive around and explore places and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is very doable. I did a little prototype of my own. I can actually post a link to how to do the Zelda Wind Waker camera, and it works really well.
Oh, nice.
Very
That'd
simple. It's
be
very easy to
awesome.
work with.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's like the very. I only really been working on this like. I mean, I've done the designs like for a little bit, but I only started like making CG models like this past week. So yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, what we could do, one of the very common game design practices for
Yeah.
games in general is to just gray box in a level, and then have they call it like a gym. So just have a level that is all the different things that could happen, and like just have a place to kind of run around and like explore and test the jump. Have a bunch of different platforms to test the jump with, test the shooting mechanics, test the spells and things like that.
It's the cross.
Just have a
I had
yeah.
I have an idea. I had an idea for a level. I like made the top down view. It's basically like you're it's kind of, it would probably be like in the middle of the game, like if it was actually made like with the story and everything. So you already have the glove, but it's in, let's see, environments. It's in the Ville Overgrowth, which is like overrun with these things. Sculpted this. Dang it! I wish I could show you guys. Well, I can show you guys a CG model in a second on a computer, but yeah, it's overrun with these guys, and basically it would just start off like you're kind of, I guess you're walking around and you see this like statue thing, and it's like hey you, and he's like what? And it's like could you there's like, and the statue kind of like asks you to help him, like, because it's like this ancient temple, and he wants you to like clear the Ville from there, I guess, and like and he said it'll give you like a reward. So it's like, I don't know, pretty simple thing. You just get in the temple, go through some puzzles, fight some creatures, and then at the end you beat the level and you get a reward. So that's like, I don't know, that's like the thing I want to make, I guess.
I think it's a really great idea, but
The gym?
Well, like when he was describing the character turning into a gym, you could have that character, Stonehead character, give you that brief little thing, and then you kind of go around and you have like a small level that you can explore.
Yeah.
It would have to be small and simple, but
Okay.
It's doable. You can have like a level of sort of combination.
Yeah. If you guys, I feel bad because the people online can't see this, but I could show you stuff on one of these computers. If you look at.
I don't.
Okay.
This one's busted.
It'd be great
Oh, it
if
is.
you
You have to restart
if you
it.
can scan and have some screenshots of models and
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
in Trello.
And you
So-
can put everything on Trello.
I could do that. I could take some
I mean, no,
screenshots of the ZBrush stuff right now.
You should just do it.
Sure, yeah.
Just
I mean,
see everything posted on
it'll take too
Trello.
long.
Did you have a account set up for me?
I just made an account,
Okay,
but
so I'll get you
yeah, sure. How do I check this?
And then
You can also just pull it out.
Okay.
You have somebody grading your characters?
Yeah, I've help. I might I might try and like learn how to rig, or if you guys could help me like, with that.
There's
Oh,
but there are issues with that in terms of making a video game.
The-
So Ben Riker is making you a film rig. He's
Yeah.
not making you a video game.
Okay.
I'll let you know that now.
Yeah.
They are very different entities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing with the model. You can take that model and knock it down like half of that damage.
Sure.
And it would still visually be the same. And you can have like a normal map and everything and make it look exactly the same as what it does now,
Right.
just with much less geometry. So there's like a lot of little things that can be tweaked.
And it sounds like for your final game, you're probably just doing like
Possibly, yeah.
you might want to like just kind of
Yeah, you would want both. Yeah, you would
Okay.
want both. So you would want the
Okay.
models that he's making to make the game. You would want those for the cinematics and everything.
Yeah, but if you're just
But you would
running
also
around-
want.
Yeah, if you're just running around, you don't need like your mouth to move really
Right.
or anything like that. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I
Right.
haven't played that.
Right. So you can should knock that character down to 8,000 polys
Sure.
pretty easy, and 8,000 is what Team Fortress 2 looks like.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
seems like one
So-
thing that would be sort of what would make this really go out is there somebody who's able and willing to break characters?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I understand that you're going to be learning about it, but
Yeah.
it seems like it might be a really time-consuming thing if you need to like test out and
Yeah,
animate
definitely.
and then get all these things graded specifically.
And the good thing on that is it is just one character. We wouldn't necessarily have to have all the rest of that animated on like forums, the gyms, or a test.
Mhm.
We wouldn't necessarily have to have more than one enemy, or even one enemy at all.
We could just have an enemy standing there.
Right. There's a lot of things we can do.
We can have
Just for testing. We can literally gray box the enemy in. There are options to
Sure.
keep this manageable within a month's time. We can have a like blank billboard in the game with just like a Photoshop texture, just his name, enemy here,
Or we'll just,
and it just kind of
we'll
like
just
keeps
put a
facing you.
picture of Nathan in the game.
Yes, I'll make a scowly face, and you can like shoot me with magic.
We'll just tint it green and then
Yes,
paste it in there
perfect.
plain. And it'll be
Perfect. But yeah, there's a lot of workarounds for pretty much everything involved in this process.
great. Well, that's less daunting if
Yeah.
you did like rigging one character.
And also on the note of rigging, depending on what needs to get done, we can like rigging the characters that we do in CG2 is really fairly complicated because we're using really fairly complicated rigs. Rigging for a game, we're going to want as few bones and as few options as possible. So you can toss in just a bone, a bone, a bone. Like just toss in the bones, add no additional options to them, and that only takes a few minutes. Weight painting is going to take a little while longer, and like doing an IK rig a few minutes longer. But we would only need the IK on the feet. We
Wait.
wouldn't need it on the arms, and we can make
Wait,
this work.
Unity doesn't support
IK at all?
IK, it supports FK.
Okay.
So you have to do everything
Would
with FK.
would it bake in?
Just saying.
Well, wait, no. Unity does some kind of IK. I've seen it used.
Can you import animation to Unity?
That's what I was
Yeah,
about to say.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can import in. Maybe just Maya has the IK rig, and you import the you just like
I can
have the bone.
I can deal
copy over
with
it.
all that. I'll show you guys because I've done it for my own game. I need to change with Mechanim. For what if
Mechanim, that's where I've seen
Yeah.
it. I've seen IK work with Mechanim.
Yeah, Mechanim is amazing, but I tried IK and got a lot of issues.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean,
That's something to work
FK
out.
worked out of the box. I believe you need to bake a lot of things, and
Sure.
probably there's a workaround to do IK.
Okay.
There's also in Unity actually. You wouldn't use the IK. You would use directly the ragdoll system. They have a ragdoll system. That's how you can tweak it and make it look
there
like
you go.
sometimes in the IK. Anyways,
But yeah, so then yes, we
Can
will
help
definitely
you.
have to have someone who's in charge of and able to do the rigging
do animation.
and animation, of course. But I
And
think like
Here's
a lot of
the,
this is the animation, the rigging is gonna be
Yeah.
Here's the Vil. This is like the low res version. Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
What's the poly count on that?
I don't know. Where is that?
Top left.
Just click on it.
Tries.
I can't click on it for some
No, it's
reason.
already
Oh.
listed. Tries 40,000. That's beyond game range. That's too much.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff you would actually probably just use the crystals.
Oh, yeah?
You would not actually roll out.
For sure.
Using
You can even take this model, recompologize it down, and get that way lower with a normal math.
Yeah, that's not even what you can have in PlayStation 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's above and beyond anything we're gonna do. And then like to rig that with all those little like dangly bits, there's no way. You could never get all that animated.
Doesn't that look fun though?
To have solid piece of geometry and then alpha
It's great.
out.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think the design itself probably needs some simplification.
Yeah. So that's like, there would have to be great discussion
Yeah.
for that, definitely.
Sure.
But it is doable.
Okay.
It is totally doable.
Cool. You guys don't want to see the high quality
Okay. So last little bit of the meeting, we've got like what, 10 minutes, roughly. Yeah, I don't want to take us more than 15. So that's what I was gonna mention briefly. So I guess question that I need to ask now is, do we want to like actually bring it up and kind of go through it now that we know this is actually going to be public? Because last time we looked through it and then kind of thought about that later. It's up to us. It's totally okay.
Bring up the most important points, big changes from what we discussed previously.
It's basically what we saw before. The stuff that we discussed has been changed, obviously. The different the most recent thing that we've altered is the how to work with outside contractors section of it, in terms of how to agree and how much each person gets and that sort of thing. So we're going to start off with a base amount of 20% for an outside contractor. If they sell their work individually, they'll give us 20% off the top, and we would compensate them by whatever we make. We'd give them a percentage based on whatever we agree on, that sort of thing. That's the most recent and the biggest edit to that. All the rest of it is basically in the form that we had discussed before, just with the different individual issues kind of fixed. For the specifics, obviously, I'd have to go in and actually read out this stuff, but yeah, it's.
When and how are we going to do this?
It's in a format such that it can be signed now. So at the very bottom, in witness here whereof whatever the parties hereto intended to be legally bound hereby have with each cause to be affixed hereto. Jesus, he did say he would toss in a few heretos for me. It's his or her hand or seal on the day indicated. Wait, what?
Most of it is written.
It's written in plain English, but he promised to that because I made a joke about legalese, and he said he would toss in a few heretofores for me, just as a gag.
Yeah, that sounds way more legalese than anything.
Yes, it does. So the rest of it is this agreement constitutes the entire understanding of the parties and revokes and supersedes all prior agreements. That's very clear. That's very simple. So most of it's written like that, but this last little bit, I think he did just as kind of a.
In witness whereof.
Yeah.
Intending to be legally bound hereby. Have each cause to be
Affixed hereto. Its or his her hand.
That's bullshit.
Yes, that's where he.
That is definitely where he tossed in the heretos for me.
This is binding to the people who sign below.
Yes. So it'd just be a legal. It'd just be a sign by ink, whatever.
So are you just going to print one
I'm going to print this out. I wanted to make sure that everybody has a chance to look at it first and read through before I just bring it into a meeting. So I'll bring it in. I'll send everyone a copy of it.
How about you just put it on Trello?
That's what I was thinking. So I'm going to put it on to a Trello or a Slack or whatever. Which actually, let me ask, which do people prefer? Because Slack is just us.
Trello would be
Okay,
good.
Trello is just us, but Trello's good. I mean, Slack is just us, but Trello's good for something that needs to stay there and be like.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think for
Right.
the sake of things,
So-
it's perfect for Trello.
Also, I don't know if you guys read this, but we have a limited amount of space for storage on our free Slack account, which means after we surpass a certain amount of storage on there, stuff starts getting deleted. The oldest stuff gets deleted. So that's going to happen at some point.
Okay. Okay. That's
Doesn't it delete all the GIFs?
duly noted. I was actually just going to post a link to. I'll keep it on my Dropbox and just post a link to that way.
I'm just saying Slack probably isn't a good place to post things like
Okay.
model.
Duly noted. I mean, we have Trello integrated through it, so I think that's the best way to post that sort of stuff anyway.
So this is very, like, so after this point, like, we're hoping that this is going to go on beyond this.
Ideally, it would. As I mentioned a few weeks ago before you started coming by, that I am actually in talks with a guy who has run a company for making video games before. I'm also, there's a USC talk next week about kind of the same sort of thing, like running stuff. There's the IGDA coming in to talk about like managing a team, managing a company, managing like a video game production. So they're going to be talking about that. So I'm looking at that as a possibility. So yeah, I want to legally have the option available, but also just for the sake of like, say Trevor really likes Sorting Master and he wants to approach somebody from like EA or something. I don't know. But like say he wants to like pitch that and be like, hey, I had this really cool game idea. We came up with a concept. I want him to be able to do that. But I also don't want anybody here to get screwed over in the process of that because like a lot of us worked on it. So, I don't want anybody like to just take all of our work and just like throw it to somebody else. Or say somebody else grab it and try to pitch it to a company that isn't Trevor and without Trevor knowing about it. That'd be crap. So like I just want to make sure that stuff like that doesn't happen. So that's why the agreement is here. It's a very loose agreement, but it's also specific enough to kind of keep us protected.
It's just to protect people's basic rights.
Right.
And then it, all the specifics of it take up multiple
Well,
meetings.
no, I was also expecting there to be a lot of backstabbing, intrigue, game type.
Yes.
Well, there is something in there, so whoever kills Nathan gets to take over.
That is sort of in there. Although I do want to
of
make
Thrones.
note, I did specifically say that I have no power any greater than any of the rest of you in terms of this legal document. So like, there's nobody in charge of this group, as it were. We're all just by agreement as to who does what. So like, if you guys want to stop listening to me, this legal agreement doesn't make you listen to me. It's just up to you guys.
So I have a quick announcement. November 3rd and 4th is GDC Next.
Oh, yeah.
And they sent me an email because I went last year with a promo code to get a free expo pass. You can see the expo floor.
Oh, really?
And I've got those too.
Yeah.
So I've gotten a couple of emails
So
thus far.
I've gotten a second email, and the code is exactly the same. So I think if you want to register for GDC Next for an expo pass, GDCN14EX will give you a free expo pass.
Yep, that's the code I got too. So everybody here is more than welcome to join us, apparently. I've got it pulled up.
Wait, so yeah, what did you do?
I can pass that around on the Trello.
So it's
That's not a
GDC
problem.
Next 14.
Yeah.
And that should be able to work for whatever amount of people.
This is a very new thing.
Yeah,
like
this is the
GDC
second
Next
year.
this is the second year it's happening. So they're very small. They don't have a lot of people like signing up for it. They don't have a lot of like word of mouth happening for it yet. So they're trying to like get people to go.
If it's like
So, yeah.
last year, the expo floor was mostly technical stuff. There was a lot of the business and hosting side of gaming and apps. Services that they can give to developers to do things like have online multiplayer servers and stuff like that. Also, if it's like last year, we got to go to one talk of our choice. We went to the Double Fine, Tim Schafer and company talking about Broken Age.
So Tim Schafer broke down his entire process on how to make Broken
That's a good
Age,
choice.
what it worked with, what their process was,
they
everything.
analyzed-
Was it just you two?
It was us two and
it's
Ben.
They analyzed also their camera, which still I love so
Holy
much.
crap! Yeah. Oh my god.
So that is potentially cool. I don't know what they're doing this year. Also, if it's like last year, the strange thing will happen and someone will have abandoned their booth and a guy will set up there with a laptop that allows you to throw trucks with your mind. So that can happen.
I just want to make a note.
For this again?
The 3rd and 4th of
Of
November.
November, and
It's coming up.
Throw Trucks with Your Mind is actually the name of the game.
Yes. And
It didn't look like this.
You wear a headset that measures your focus and your calm,
This is great.
and based on those two, you have Jedi powers.
Nathan, can I get a ride with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm claiming it now.
That's fine.
I'm glad
plan
that
to.
for the metrics because that's honestly about as much as you can accurately measure with today's like off-the-shelf.
Yeah.
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 And it's had some troubles.
It was
especially-
cool,
It's
but it
had
was a
some
lot of fun.
problems, especially on Greenlight, because it's hard to convince people to greenlight a game that you have to buy a $100 peripheral just for this game.
Right.
But it was a really cool experience to have it there. He was not supposed to have a booth, but someone abandoned their pedestal.
So why the heck not? It was pretty cool last year. We got an Ouya out of it for free.
Yes, and Ouya shirts. as
And
well.
Ouya shirts and everything else. So like, there was some really cool stuff there, and it's, I mean, obviously just a great place for networking and stuff like that. So you can meet some people in the industry.
And they do have some cool stuff. Like a lot of it was beyond what I was interested in because I wasn't at that point yet. But they did have like a motion capture system that doesn't have a whole array of cameras.
Right.
It just has like one camera, and it can kind of figure out where you are.
The focus of GDC Next is what's coming next in the industry.
Yeah. and
So it's all the like new technology and new techniques and tricks and things, and all the
it's
up and coming
technically
stuff.
two conventions. It's GDC Next and the App Developers Conference. So
And there's
a lot
also
of stuff specifically for mobile applications, whether they're games or otherwise.
Yeah.
It's cool, and hey, it's free now. They
Well-
charge $99 for the Expo Pass, but then they give out these codes to everyone who wants them. So,
Yeah, still need to find where you input all that to get the pass. Though.
when you sign up for an Expo Pass, and there should be a box where you enter in a promo code.
For the during payment, I guess.
During payment, yes.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out
Yeah.
and make sure everybody has access to that. But yeah, so that's happening in a couple of weeks. Or is that
By the way,
1 week?
Nathan, do you want to go on the 3rd or 4th?
Jeez,
It's
that
2
is
days.
like a week away.
I think the Expo
Yeah.
Pass works on either day.
Is that a Saturday and Sunday?
It's a Monday and a
it's Monday and a
Tuesday.
What? Yes, sorry, I should know.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a Monday and a Tuesday. It's a little.
Yeah.
Okay, I can.
Can't go. Okay. I'm planning to go regardless. Anybody who wants to go is more than welcome to
Tuesday would
join
work
with me.
better for me.
I might be able to swing that. I don't know.
I want to say it was a weekend last
Because they
week.
don't
Yeah,
really
No, it was a Wednesday, Thursday last year.
Yeah.
I remember that. We went on a Wednesday. Daytime.
All
All
day.
day.
It's all day.
So when
And it's not even.
what you guys are planning to go?
Like,
Would
it's
you
just
go
that's the
afternoon?
day of the expo. It's like
Oh,
that's
just
the
all
entire
day.
day of the conference.
It's the
Everyone
afternoon.
at GDC Next
That's their-
is there.
We'll figure it out.
It's inconvenient, but I can go on Tuesday.
Okay.
Maybe not Monday.
Okay. Well,
Like,
I don't
I'm
know
looking
if
to
that
other day
matters.
because I don't have a day job anymore. So.
I'll look into it. I TA a lot of stuff on Tuesdays, but
I have to find
probably gonna make manage.
Wait, what
On
about
Monday
Monday
and
on Mondays? What?
No idea. But anyway, we'll discuss and figure that out.
Yes, logistics will be. figured
Logistics
out.
will happen.
And if you have to miss it, it's cool, but it's not that cool. I went to Indiecade and GDC Next last year. Indiecade was by far the better one. I imagine that's going to be the case this year as well, but there will be cool stuff there.
Oh, I have one more really important thing to announce.
Sure.
I've been putting together a video, but I got really bogged down with work on a bunch of different things. People playing lightsaber Oculus games with Star Wars music in the background. So hopefully I'll be able to spend some more time on that this week and get it finished.
Nice.
So keep an eye out for that because it's going to be really important.
Yes,
Nice.
that should be noted that at Indiecade we encountered a technology that was the closest to actually having a lightsaber that I've ever seen.
It was a little on the run.
Because you're dumb
Just
I think
say
it
and
was
French.
awkward and unrealistic, but
Yeah.
it was.
It was really cool.
Come
on.
We did some nice footage about it. That's for
I
sure.
wish you could have done it with only one lightsaber because I'm not a movie.
Agreed. I would have liked the option.
You could drop one.
That's true.
It's
though.
true,
Yeah,
you
that's
could
right.
drop one.
Taking them together to make a double.
Also, there was the night of the Rockolos playing super loud close to it.
Which just made that whole experience.
That changed the mood a bit.
What was it? Duel of Fate?
No, it was.
What is love?
What is love?
Right there.
That was the best
It's
combination.
Night at the Roxbury, but in an Oculus
game
Rift.
where you like bob and peck along to What is Love while you're in the car.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
But okay, so.
I think that's pretty good.
Ooh, wow, that's no shit. Okay, I think I just destroyed my phone. So yeah, I think that's everything. Is that everything? I'm gonna get all the illegal stuff posted online for us.
Yeah, I want to, like, I
Sure.
have an idea that isn't really a pitch yet, but I would like to throw it out there, like, if it would help me
Sure.
figure out the gameplay.
Okay.
So I don't know if we can wrap it up first. And, yeah,
Whatever you prefer, I think.
I don't know. Do you want to bother people with that?
I think it's fine. I mean.
All right. So, I had that idea for a game. It's an endless runner, but you're not running. You're walking because you run all day with a purse, and basically you're walking through the crowd, and you're looking out for thieves and people committing bad, and you slap them with your purse, and that's your goal. That's the whole game. So like, you avoid people, you avoid bad, you have to be executed, and you just go and slap thieves.
So it's Vigilante Granny.
Yeah.
Vigilante Granny,
Wait.
and we have a game name.
Wait, there's a Monty Python sketch about it, right?
Nice.
Like games with Granny.
Yeah, when they're like roaming the city and they're like
Also-
Chaos Angels.
There's a degree of that in FIFA the Cobbler.
That too.
Yes.
That Granny is intense.
Yeah. Monty Python.
They're called Hell's Grannies and they have a leather jacket.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
So there's that thing, and my problem is like, if it's possible to do that, because I want to hit that crowd, but the graphics would be very simple, like basic shapes. I don't know, like simpler than Animal Crossing, maybe a little more complex than Minecraft.
So are you, you're thinking 3D for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
3D.
You said Endless Runner 3D?
Yeah. Because these
Okay.
are only.
I mean, and technically, I think we 2.5D 3D characters on 2D planes.
Even then, you could do it like that pitch that I showed last week for it was sort of like Teo style with the sort of top-down isometric sort of view. Where you're kind of looking at it. Yeah, you have an unlimited Z plane. You're just kind of running, and then you have like the crowds. You kind of come in that way, so you could do it that way as well. Yeah. Get that posted onto the Trello, and we can discuss.
Yeah, that sounds like enough to be a pitch.
Yeah, that's enough to kind of get the juices flowing, and then we can kind of figure out the exact details.
Title it Vigilante Granny.
Definitely title it Vigilante Granny.
So what is next week then?
Next week, that's a good point.
Yacht Club, right?
Next week is potentially Yacht Club, hopefully Yacht Club. So they'll be coming in to kind of take a look at what we've got, take a look at what we're doing next. Your homework for the week, as it were, is to get voted. Like, make sure that you voted on things. Seeing as Legulary is already a thing, already voted on, homework for Legulary will be to kind of like start planning, like figure out what needs to get done, building a team, who's going to do what, that sort of stuff. Estimated production schedule, if you
Are
haven't.
people going to come to work on that, or are we just working for people who are here right now?
Wait, say what?
Are other people that are not here going to be working on that, or just people who are in the room?
It'll be the people just kind of in the group in general. We can have. We need to get a board set up for Legulary on Trello, and then we can start figuring out like what needs to get done, and people can start signing up, kind of like we did with the other ones.
So, like, are we going to start doing that next week, or are we starting this week? Because I think it'd be easier, like, to brainstorm as a group in person than, like, trying to post it online and then no one replying. So.
Fair enough.
Slack would be the best place to do
Yeah.
that. And if we had like a designated like meeting time, we could like all get on Slack and
Yeah.
discuss it like as close to in person as this community.
So let's go that route. Let's try to do it on Slack, at least to an extent, but just kind of get it sort of in place for next week, and then we can make more finalized preparations during the meeting next week.
Yeah, because the
So-
meeting next week will also be deciding what our
Right.
other game is and starting to build for that.
exactly. So we'll be doing the same with both games next week. But since Legulary is a little bit ahead already, like we know that that's going to be part of the next project, just kind of start the ball rolling on that stuff. Kind of like talk to people, get the idea of who's going to do what, kind of, that sort of thing. Or at least like, hey, I really like what you did here. Maybe you did a good job on the last project. Would you like to do this for Legulary? Stuff like that.
I think
Just kind of get the ball rolling.
if we could set a deadline for putting it before the next meeting, so we come in already knowing. it's-
Sure. We did Sunday last time.
I think that would be.
So Sunday morning, whenever I wake up, I say it's done, and we're done.
Yeah.
Okay. So get your votes in by Sunday.
Whatever the team is, they can start doing something.
Kind of talking and planning and do some things, and then Thursday will be the actual planning meeting where we really sit down and break stuff down. But you can kind of get your ideas, and if nothing else, just maybe like write down some ideas of like what do I need in this game? I need a character. I need game mechanics. I need a level. I need stuff like that, and just kind of keep a list of your stuff. Great. So just kind of get stuff like that
I
prepared.
think probably figuring out how to use like post stuff on Trello, like setting
Sure.
boards and stuff.
Sure. Me or Jessica are both very well versed on that. We can set up a board, honestly, pretty easily. And are you on Slack yet? Have I gotten your information?
No, that is.
Okay. Slack is the chat program. So we have different chat rooms.
Yeah, it's our dedicated chat client
Yeah.
for the group.
And it,
It's more like immediate discussion and like
Yes.
stuff that should be posted in graphics later should go on Trello.
Yes,
Yeah.
unless you're on the random board, in which case it's whatever.
GIFs!
it has to be.
dancing GIFs. Everybody dancing GIFs.
What's nice about this is you can communicate really quickly
The last one's
with
great.
people, and there are a shit ton of gifts on there, but they are restricted
Too random. Yes.
Unless it's a very, very topical gift.
Unless
Right
it's
there.
a topical gift.
Yeah, hear that. Like, the GIF here is fine.
But
Like,
you can't
huh?
spam gifts anywhere but in your inbox.
It's an advanced Facebook Messenger, and it's a dedicated space for us to talk about work specifically for the game making group. So we don't have to flood anybody, specifically mine Facebook page, with messages inundating me about all the different technical shit that needs to get done.
And for people like Teo, it's very useful because you don't need Facebook.
Don't have Facebook, right? Huh?
It's free. Just have it.
It's perfectly free. The only thing is you need to give me your email address, and I have to make the account for you effectively.
Okay.
So like I have to send you an invite through your email. So you and Wilder both need to do that. We can do that right now. That's fine. But yeah. So we need to get you both set up on that. And then so everybody, just for next week, just take a break. Get your votes in. Breathe a little. Prepare yourself for the next project. Alex is obviously going to be available or hopefully available, whatever. The discussions will be starting to happen for Legulary. So kind of if you want to do something, talk to him. Get everything kind of discussed.
What everyone's really capable of.
Right. So get things discussed. That's your homework for this week. Start discussing things. If one game, if Coffee Cutie starts to look like it's ahead of the polls, it's going to win. Start discussing there. Whatever. Just get plans. Start talking. Your homework is to talk. Okay, we're done.
Brunch.
Yes, brunch on Sunday.
And brunch on Sunday.
and by
Yes,
then we
brunch
ran
on Sunday.